To the KOAM Morning News, one of the great things as we get ready to start a new year coming off of what I hope is a wonderful Christmas for Dr. David Robbins. Number one, thank you so much for your time this morning. We're reinstituting what we call our Med Day Wednesdays. And so this is great to actually have you in studio. Dr. Robbins is an interventional cardiologist. To put it in layman's terms, he's a heart doc. And he's the one that potentially saves our lives. And thank you so much. You've been at Ascension Via Christi now for, what about 6 months?
About 6 months.
About 6 months? What brought you here to the 4 states? I know you're no stranger to the Midwest. You're coming out of Kansas City. What brought you to our neck of the woods?
Yeah, so I worked in Kansas City for about 12 years, and it was time for a change, and I was looking around for different jobs and found this opportunity, and seemed like it was going to be a good fit, so here I am.
So one of the things that's so important to us here in our particular 18-county area is the fact that we are known for poor heart health. Let's call a spade a spade. And so that's why we turn to people like you. And as we get ready to open up a new year, New Year's resolutions are going to be on a lot of people's minds. What are some of the things that you stress to people? Look for this, look for that. Don't have to come see me. What do you advise people?
So, I mean, obviously the main symptoms would be if people are starting to have some sort of tightness in their chest, especially if it's with exertion. And another one that people sometimes overlook is shortness of breath or just fatigue. And we see this a lot in older people because they think, well, I'm getting short of breath because I'm getting older and I don't exercise enough. And sometimes they just won't recognize that that could actually be a symptom of heart disease, and if you start having those kinds of symptoms, it might be a good time to talk to your doctor about it.
So even if I'm participating in, let's say I'm older and I participate even in moderate exercise, if I feel it becoming chronic, is that what I need to look for?
Yeah, if you realize that you're just maybe you rode your bicycle for 10 miles a day, and now you can only get to 8. Because you just are exhausted. Okay. And then a few months later it's 6. And it's that sort of thing where people will sometimes think, well, I'm just getting older. And it may happen slowly over 6 months, a year. And if people don't recognize that could be a symptom of heart disease as opposed to just getting older.
And I think the other thing is technology is never going to slow down. Medical advancements are always going to be made. And that's where I kind of lean on you to tell me about the cath lab at Ascension Via Christi in Pittsburgh. Relatively new. I mean, there's an entire shift as far as the footprint of it went and whatnot. But those 2 words, cath lab, that is scary to somebody when they find out that they may have to go in there. But I know that after you talk to a heart doctor, that you can assuage some of those fears. How do you explain to people the procedure?
So, we usually first tell them why we think they need the procedure, and then go through the different benefits and risks of the procedure. And the reality is the risk of a major complication with a heart cath is only about 1 out of 1,000. One or 2 out of 1,000. And the nice thing about it is with stents and the other technologies we have, if we go in there and we find blockage that we can fix with stents, we just do it right there, then and there.
Oh, so, and forgive me for using this phrase because I don't want to downplay it. It's like one-stop shopping.
Essentially. Now, some people will need open heart surgery, and for those people, we have to make that arrangement later. But if it's especially important if somebody's having a full-blown heart attack and they're in our emergency room, then we activate our team, and we can have them in the cath lab within 15 minutes and their arteries open in less than an hour.
And folks, if you've never seen the team that Dr. Robbins has, if you've never seen them work, number one, they're second to none. Number two, there is no time wasted. Where does technology go from here? What's on the future of interventional cardiology for you?
So the stents keep getting better and better. One of the issues we've had with stents in the past is some people, the stent will either clot off with a blood clot. So we've been keeping people on blood thinners for a certain amount of time. As the stent technology has gotten better, we are now reducing the amount of time that people need to be on blood thinners, so then we're reducing the risk of bleeding.
Absolutely
And
amazing.
other things that can happen to stent is too much scar tissue grows inside. And as the stent technology improves, we can decrease that amount of scar tissue and stents last longer and longer.
One of the things I never even would have thought about was scar tissue building up around those. Dr. David Robbins, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Same here.
Thank you so much for your time. Welcome to the 4 states.
Thank you.
And I know you've been here 6 months, but first time in studio, so welcome. And once again, if you want to get a hold of Dr. Robbins via Christie Ascension, and once again, like he said, he's at the business, but do yourself a favor, try to start off 2022 and delay seeing Dr. Robbins.
But not if you're having a heart attack.
There you go. Yes. You feel the chest pain or anything like that, do not delay. Do not delay. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.
Anyone